All right, so this is number 2 on the 11-4 worksheet. So what I want to do first is, well, first of all, they tell us to use the quadratic formula. So the first thing I want to do if I'm going to use the quadratic formula is I got to get one side equal to 0. So I want this is a right here because it's in front of the m squared. So I want a to stay positive. So I'm going to subtract 4 and add 6m to both sides. So first I'll add 6m to both sides. So I'll have 3m squared plus 6m equals 4. Next, what I'm going to do is I'm going to subtract 4 on both sides. That way this side will be 0. So now I'll have 0 on the right. On the left, we'll have 3m squared plus 6m minus 4. So now that I have one side equal to 0, I have a trinomial on the left. I can use the quadratic formula. Before you use the quadratic formula, what I highly recommend you do is label A, B, and C. So A is 3, B is 6, and C is negative 4. So that will help you as you're filling in the Pythagorean or the quadratic formula. So on the 11-4 or the unit 11 notes at the very bottom, I have a quadratic formula song. So if you want to sing along or just watch me sing the quadratic formula song, feel free to do so, but it'll help you remember what it is. So the quadratic formula is x equals negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all divided by 2a. So now that I have the formula written down, I can fill in all the a's, b's, and c's. So every time you fill in a variable, make sure you put it in parentheses. So b is 6, so I have negative and then 6 in parentheses, plus or minus the square root of b squared, so 6 squared, minus 4 times a is 3, c is negative 4, and I'm going to divide it all by 2a, and a was 3, so 2 times 3. So now all I have left to do is just simplify all this stuff. So negative 6 just turns into negative 6. 6 squared is 36. So this part is tricky right here for a lot of people. So I have a negative 4 times 3 times a negative 4. So if I multiply all those together, negative 4 times 3 is negative 12. Negative 12 times negative 4 is positive 48. So that means I'm going to be adding 48. 2 times 3 is 6. So next I can combine those like terms inside of the radical. So negative 6 plus or minus 36 plus 48 is 84. So next what I need to do is I need to simplify this radical. So just like we did at the beginning of the year and the end of the first semester, is I need to break this number down. I know that 4 times 21 is 84, and 2 times 2 is 4. So 1, 2 will come out. Got a pair of 2's, 1, 2 goes away, the other one comes out. So it's 2 times square root of 21. 21 is just 7 times 3, so there's no pairs in there, so I know it'll just break down to that. So now I have x is equal to negative 6 plus or minus 2 times the square root of 21, all divided by 6. So our last step before we're done is, since this is a fraction, I have these numbers. So since I'm adding or subtracting these, I need to check that both of these have a number in common with the denominator, so 6. So I'm basically checking, do all 3 of these have a number in common? Are they divisible by one number? That number would be 2. So 2 goes into all of these. So I'm going to divide each of these by 2 and then we'll be done. So I just have to simplify. So 2 goes into negative 6, negative 3 times. 2 goes into 2 once, so that 2 just goes away. 2 goes into 6 3 times. So our answer would be x is equal to -3 plus or minus the square root of 21 divided by 3. That's a 3 right there. It's hard to tell, but that's a 3. And that's your answer.